Hi everybody, it's Laura with the Get Clear Show. So as you know, we've been doing a series now on the 4 different personality shapes. We've talked about the circle, the diamond, the rectangle, and the triangle. Well, here's the video you've all been waiting for. Today we're going to talk about how all 4 of these different personalities interact with one another, and particularly how they can better interact with each other in the workplace. As you know, as a life coach, people come to me all the time and say, Laura, my life is a mess, please help me fix it. And while I can't actually fix somebody's life, I can put processes in place that will help them unravel whatever situation they're going through or whatever thing it is that they want to improve on. We can certainly set goals for that and help them achieve it. The other thing that I do is I go into workplaces and I do workshops and I teach people how to better interact with their coworkers. And we do that using the different shape personalities. Let's start with the circle personality, the person who makes all of their decisions based on emotion. I'm going to just give you a generic workplace setting. We're going to say that Company Z is a company that employs probably 50 people. We're just using this as an example. Your organization may be much smaller or it may be much larger. But let's just go with that. This is a manufacturing company, and they have an area in their in their building where people make widgets all day long. It comes down an assembly line. Don't ask me what a widget is. We're just using this as an example. Comes down an assembly line. They make these things. It gets to the end of the assembly line. Somebody packages it and sends it off to wherever it's going to go. Throughout the day, different people are communicating with each other. How was your night last night? What did you do yesterday? What are you doing next weekend? Let's get to know each other. Those types of things. In another part of the building, they have people who work in the office. And in the office, some of these people are doing bookkeeping and accounting. Other people are on the phone trying to sell the widgets that this company makes. Then there are people who are responsible for overseeing the different departments within that company. We'll call them managers. So you have a good understanding now, or at least a decent picture of what this company does. Let's talk about the circle personalities within this company. If we have somebody in the company who makes decisions based primarily on emotions, in other words, very tender-hearted, very nurturing people, and that person is responsible perhaps for being at the end of the assembly line, gathering all of the widgets to put in boxes and mail off to wherever the widgets are going to go. And they're doing this all day long, and they're handling just these packages, and they don't have much interaction with the other people on the assembly line. Up the line, maybe there's 20 people up the line, and it comes to them, and they're just putting things in boxes. How long do you think it would take before that person becomes dissatisfied with their job? If they don't have the opportunity to nurture the people further up the line, on the assembly line, if they're not getting to hear the stories of how their day was, if they're not getting to talk about what cute little thing their daughter or granddaughter did the night before, if they don't get to help organize the birthday parties for the company, if they don't get to help organize the company picnic, if they are not involved in decision making, and when a new decision is made, they see that somebody up the line is agitated by that, how long do you think they will last at that job? My guess is not very long, because what we do know is that in the long run, money does not motivate people. It might keep somebody on a job because they have bills to pay, but it will not make them satisfied and happy with their job. How do you know if that person is actually a circle personality and needs to have more interaction with the coworkers in order to be satisfied with their job? Well, they'll display that quite readily. You'll see them wanting to talk a lot with other people. You'll see them caring about other people, asking questions about other people, and things like that. So if that person is at the end of the line and throughout the day, maybe there's a slow spot in the day and they start to go and they interact with some of their other coworkers and they bring brownies to work for the break room every day, things like that, then you're going to understand that you have a circle personality. And if that person seems annoying to you, the odds are you are going to be one of the opposite personalities, for example, a rectangle personality. If a rectangle personality person is, let's say, put into the position of sales, and in that job, it is their responsibility to build relationships with their prospective clients, they're really not going to be satisfied, because remember, they don't tap in necessarily to people's feelings and emotions, which is what you want a salesperson to do. Instead, they're going to just talk to them about, here's the bottom line. Here are the benefits to our widgets. Well, there might be 50 other companies out there that also make widgets and also have the same benefits available. And when that salesperson does not make the sale, they're going to be very irritated and agitated. They're already going to be having a difficult time because they had to build a relationship with whoever it was that they were trying to sell a widget to. Albeit that a temporary relationship, they still need to do that. So that might be very frustrating for them. On the other hand, rectangle people can also make wonderful salespeople for particular products where you only have to know about the specifics of that product. Okay? So I don't want to pigeonhole anybody and say they can't do the job. Now you have that salesperson, and they promised a customer that they were going to have 5,000 widgets delivered to them by the 1st of next month. For some reason, who knows why, maybe the assembly line went down, maybe there was a problem getting parts in to make the widgets, whatever the case may be. Now the 500 widgets have not been released for the person that they promised it to. They might go to the circle person who's at the end of the assembly line packaging it up and start yelling at them, how come you didn't get my 500 widgets delivered? How do you think that circle person is going to feel? Probably very defeated, very angry, very upset. In the meantime, that circle person may be trying to explain to the rectangle person, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bother you, I didn't mean for this to happen. And all the rectangle person wants to know is, when are you going to get those widgets out? Okay? So now we have a case of two people who are not communicating with each other very effectively. They're hurting each other's feelings and they're rubbing each other the wrong way. Learning how to communicate better with individual personality types within your organization will definitely benefit you. Let's take a diamond person. The person who loves to go out on the adventure. Make wonderful salespeople, by the way, because they love to go out and conquer, and they want to come back and tell you all about the sale that they made. We take that diamond person, and now we stick them on in the middle of the assembly line. And every day, it's the same process, over and over. Put slot A in slot B, send it down the line. And while there may be some excitement in getting to talk to the people around them, you might find that these diamond people sometimes have a tendency, they don't mean to do this, it's unwitting, but they might cause a little bit of drama. They're the people who might pull some pranks on other coworkers and things like that because they're bored. They're just absolutely bored. Would it be better if we took a diamond person and put them into, say, a sales position for the company? And maybe took that rectangle person and put them more into a bookkeeping slot within the company, something like that. Yes, assuming that they have the skills. Doesn't mean that they can't learn to be happy and satisfied in the position they are in, as long as other people around them understand how to communicate with them. So how would you communicate with a diamond personality? They want to hear all about your day the day before, but more importantly, they want to get to talk about what they did last weekend. It was so exciting. We went to the lake, we built our very own boat, we got out on the lake. They want to tell you all about that. Okay? Last but not least, we have the triangle personality. And these people are very organized. They want to know how come we're doing certain things. These are the rules. If you take a triangle person and you put them on an assembly line and you tell them all day long, we want you to put slot A in slot B, and you're going to do it this way. You hold your hand this direction and you go this way. And they look over to the left and they see the person working next to them is holding their hand this way and putting it in. It's probably going to irritate them a lot. Now, that's something they have to get over, but understand that it probably will irritate them. They are rules people. They also are very is their space, their personal space is extremely important to them. So if you put them in too close proximity with other people, they're going to get agitated and frustrated. They kind of want to just have their own duties. Give me my own job. Let me do my own job. That's why they make wonderful office people, where they have their own desk and they can just sit at their desk and have everything organized the way they want to. They have to have some freedom to organize things the way they want to. How do we communicate with a triangle person? It's a little bit of facts mixed in with a little bit of what I would call emotion. So we want them to understand us and connect with us as individuals on a more intimate level than, say, the rectangle person would. But at the same time, you don't want to overwhelm them with what we call TMI, too much information. You want to be personable with them, but you also want to get to the facts. Give them the facts. And understand that they may get a little overwhelmed by trying to figure out how whatever it is you're presenting to them will fit in with their schedule. So when you come to them and you give them a project and they seem like they're annoyed with you, it's not so much that they are annoyed with you as they are just at the moment a little bit overwhelmed because they haven't yet figured out where that's going to fit in their schedule. Remember, they like to have everything kind of mapped out, and they're very organized people. So you've just said to them, I need you to change something about your day or how you had things planned. They're willing to do that, but you may notice that up front they seem a little agitated. And initially that can come across, especially to a circle person or especially to, say, even a diamond person, as being harsh or brash. So we learn in the workshops how all of these different personalities can better communicate with each other. When I go into a place of business and I teach a workshop, I give everybody a test and we find out which personality they are. After that, we break up into groups and we do different exercises that will help different people better communicate with one another. It's amazing to me how many times people start laughing within these workshop classes. They get to rolling in laughter. They're pointing to one another. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize you really are a circle. And I'm so sorry for having spoken to you the way that I did. Or, oh boy, so-and-so is really a diamond and we need to make sure that we give him more activities to do. Things like that. The recidivism rate, or maybe that's not the right word to use, but the retention rate, let's go with that. The retention rate in the workplace skyrockets. In other words, people are not quitting their jobs as quickly. You're not having to retrain other people. New people aren't, coming into the process. People are, because they're happier all of a sudden. They know how to interact with their coworkers better. They understand how to communicate with one another. They start to learn that so-and-so didn't say what they did to hurt my feelings or do what they did because they don't care about me. They start to understand that it's all about melting these different personalities together and getting people into the right place within the organization so that everybody's happy. Management is happier because they don't have coworkers that are bickering with one another. It's just an easier way of things flowing together within the company. So I highly recommend that anybody take advantage of the What's Your Shape workshop. And if you would like to take advantage of the workshop, if you think your company has a need for that, and maybe you're not even the one who's in charge of making those decisions for your company, show them this video. At least show your management this video and explain to them that you'd like to do this workshop. Very reasonable. It doesn't cost very much at all for me to come and do a workshop for you. It's extremely reasonable, and the benefits to that far, far exceed anything that you would pay anyway. So you can www.followlaura.com and just send me a quick email once you get there. It's really easy to do, laura@followlaura.com. And just let me know that you're interested in the What's Your Shape workshop, and I'll be more than happy to get back with you. In the meantime, thanks for watching this series of What's Your Shape, and have a wonderful day.